Good morning, children. Welcome back to the social session. Children, we were learning about the establishment of British Empire in India and how the revolt of 1857 spread from Kasbah to Kasbah, from the village to village, from the door to door, how it got spread we have understood in the previous class. And we also understood that there were only 45,000 British soldiers, English soldiers were present in India, whereas more than 2,32,000 Indian soldiers were present, and they all revolted against the British Empire. So how the revolt got suppressed even in such condition also we shall see today. So it was not a immediate suppression, but it has taken more than 1 year to suppress the revolt. And even though the entire revolt was widespread and many royal families also joined into the revolt, there were many disintegrating things which gave chance or opportunity for the Britishers to suppress the revolt. And again they had established their domination and they kept their colonial power or the control over the country. Despite the widespread success of the revolt, the English slowly gained control over the situation. The rebels fought bravely, but there were two major weaknesses among them. There were two major weaknesses. One, in every town or region, different groups of rebels fought separately against the English. They were not integrated, they did not join or merge, so they fought separately. So it has become very easy, as they did not fight together. There was no combined or well-planned effort from these different sections. The English were able to tackle the rebels one by one in each area. It has become easy for them to tackle the rebels. Tackle means to suppress them and to meet the situation very easily. The rebels also faced a shortage of arms, the modern arms which the Britishers got from the Britain. So the guns and cannons, cartridges, the gunpowder they required were brought from outside India. This is well available to the Britishers but not to the rebels. Consequently, the rebels had to fight with old guns, arrows, with spears and swords. And how long could they fight with these kind of outdated weapons? When the enemy has modern weapons, modern guns and enough ammunition with him, with swords and spears, how long will you fight? So even then, the speed with which the revolt spread frightened the English. At a very great speed, the revolt was spread all over the country, especially in the northern India. So they behaved with greater cruelty whenever they suppressed a rebel group. Why they behaved very cruelly? Because by looking at that murder or by looking at that kind of suppression, others should not revolt against them. That should be a lesson for them. For that reason, whenever they got an opportunity to suppress a revolt, they did it with very cruel. And they killed the rebels in a most inhuman conditions and hanged their bodies from the trees in the villages, so that the village folk should understand the consequences of the revolt if you go against to the British policies and to the Britain. They tried some rebels to the mouths of the cannons and blew them to the bits also. Cannons, big balls like thing which will throw. So they were tied to the mouth, and along with that bomb, they also will be thrown away, and their body used to get into bits. Even dead body also you will not find. It torn into pieces. Such kind of inhuman deaths were also done by these Britishers. So people, in order to avoid being caught by the English, they moved on to the safe places. They were hiding. Many of them even went to the places to hide even in Nepal. The English deported Emperor Bahadur Shah Jafar to Rangoon. Rangoon is nothing but the present Yangon, the Myanmar, Burma, previous Myanmar capital. So he was shifted to that place, and it was there the last Mughal emperor also died. The Bahadur Shah Jafar is the last Mughal emperor. He died there only. And the revolt of 1857 was the biggest revolt to challenge the might of the English. And after suppressing it, their hold over India became more stronger, and they ruled the country for the next 90 years also, until 1947. From 1857 to 1947, they continued to rule for next 90 years, and their rule also became very strong in the country after this revolt, because they understood how to suppress the rebels. And after the revolt, what has taken place in India is it took English to control or to bring them or suppress the revolt for more than a year. After 1857, during this period, they changed many of their policies and adopted new ones. The major change is in 1958, Queen Victoria, the Queen Victoria of England, she made an important declaration. She said Indian kings should rule their kingdoms without anxiety because English would not try to dethrone them. So they can rule themselves and English will not dethrone them. So no kind of any anxiety is required. They can rule on their own. But they should be under the control of the British resident. That will be present because British resident will be the mediator between the British High Command and the local ruler. In this way, they established a close collaboration with the royal families of India. Similarly, the Jamindars too were given many concessions and were assured that their property would be protected. And the Pandits and Maulvis were assured that the British government would not interfere in the matters relating to the Indian religions and would let the old traditions continue. They will not interfere into any of the religious matters. That assurance was also given by Queen Victoria after 1857 revolt. And there was also a promise that Indians would be included in the government. And the truth is that the English had seen their Indian empire being snatched away in 1857. Now, they directed their efforts towards giving all kinds of concessions to the elite powerful Indians to conciliate them and to ensure that they continued to support the English, especially Jamindars, the Maulvis, Pandits, the heads of the sections of the group were made to give the concessions and they have retained their support for them so that all put together will not revolt against them. And what is happening in Hyderabad state and British during this period? During the 1857 revolt, we have seen what has taken place in other parts of the country as well as in Hyderabad. Turrebaz Khan, along with his 6,000 army men, had attacked on the British resident. The British residency is nothing but it is a present day Women's College of Koti. So we have seen there. So what happened in Hyderabad state and the Britishers we will see in the next class, children. Thank you.